Okay guys, welcome back. Today we're back on the Civic truck, and you notice in the last video, we fitted our panels. So as you see, right behind me or in front of me, the panels are on. They're not really screwed in spot. I just put a couple screws on it, but I'll show you. We also painted the floor and the framing with our Pour 15. So as you see, it's all rust inhibited. We did inside our panels as well, and we did everything that needs to be done. Now you'll see there is a couple spots that is not done. And that's because it's all going to be bed line. So all this is going to be bed line all the way down. Technically, that's going to be sanded and bed line. Same with that side. So what we're going to do now is I literally, and you can ask Jeff because he's right there. We just stole a piece of plywood off my house that was burnt. And we're going to use the plywood for the base of this. If that isn't commitment, I don't know what is. So we got to put the plywood in. Then we're going to screw these panels on properly. And then we are going to assess what we're going to do for our hardwood floor. We actually are probably going to need a piece of metal because we need to bring that up just a little bit, or a piece of strapping. I wonder if strapping would be too much. It'd be an inch strapping would give us an inch.
Probably, well, our bolts are only so long.
We're going to figure something out. So we are going to save you the boringness of us cutting some plywood to get it ready, but we'll come back when that's done and we're going to figure out how we're going to do this. So I was getting ahead of myself. We are going to take the side panels off. We're going to undercoat it to death. We're going to put the side panels on for good. Then we're going to start our plywood floor. So you can watch us do that. It's going to be quite interesting. And then you'll see in behind painted as well. So we took the proper steps to make sure this isn't going to rust, because that's the last thing we want to do is go through all this hard work and then have it rust out. Now I do notice that, thank God it's up here, but we got a little black frame paint marks there, but we're taping that off and that's going to be bed line. But basically this is going to come out, and then we got 3 cans?
Yeah.
3 cans of undercoat. So we're going to undercoat the whole inside of the box. We're going to end up doing inside the doors and stuff as well. I'll probably pick up some more because it's, you know, it's not, the more the merrier. And then it's going to go on the hoist when it's all said and done with, and we're going to soak the underneath with undercoat. It's a Civic. We got lucky. If you're new to the channel, when we bought this, it was actually a rust-free Civic. I'll let that sink in for a second.
It needs toast rust.
We ended up finding this Civic. It only has 150,000 kilometers, and it didn't even need rocker work. Now, it did need some dog leg work, but that's very minimal. So let's have some fun. You do see that even the inside of our bed panels is painted. We don't want no headache whatsoever. And then we are probably, I don't know how many cans we're going to use of this, but we're going to soak this as best as possible. So we're going to do inside the quarter panels, inside up here. We're going to do the floor. We're going to do inside the door. One thing we're going to try not to do is get the undercoat to go through the door molding so it runs down the side of the car. Shouldn't hurt it, but
Because it'll always keep seeping and seeping and seeping.
yeah, so let's try not to get it in the middle of the door, because the middle of the door won't rust. There was no body work done at the middle of the door. So So as you see, we're just literally spraying the inside. You can see there's tons in there, up in the door. And then we're gonna get the panels on. We'll spray the floor before we put the plywood on. It's never gonna be access anyways. It just helps. You know, it wasn't rusty, but it was free, so why not use it? It's probably the best way to describe it, eh? So anyone that's familiar with bodywork, it's like cancer. If it rusts and you cut it out, it's always going to come back. So we did do some welding. We did sandblast it, but there's always that chance. So this is just going to help it so it doesn't come back. So it's pretty well undercoated. We're gonna get the panels on, and then we're gonna cut the outside. So it is what it is. Like Jeff was just saying, and I was saying as well, is we bought bolts to put in here. Just that way we could get it up tight, we can prep it, it could be bed lined, but we're having it backed off some so the bed line can get in behind it. Then we can pull these out and put our vanity bolts in. So once the two sides are on, we're gonna do the floor, get the piece of plywood we literally stole. If you're TD Insurance, thank you for supporting B is for Boost. So one good thing to point out is we need to do the rear harness before we put that panel on, which then led me to buying some of these harness clips. So they're like a factory clip but a zip tie. And then we put all new ones down here for the harness to run across. So we're just gonna get that sat in spot so we can get that panel on. Then we'll undercoat the bottom and then plywood time. Something like this, it could take numerous tries. We're trying to get it all in one try so we don't have any issues, because obviously this has been apart. And we really don't want to take it apart once it's together. So
Not really, no.
we want to make sure we do it right the first time. Okay, so as you see a white haze in my box.
That's what she said.
It is undercoated. So now we're going to cut plywood and get it sat in. You'll see that actually it really bad white haze. We undercoated to death. So this is all going to be sanded when we sand this anyways, when we tighten this down as well. But you see we are where we are, and then we are basically going to cut our plywood, get our plywood in, and then we're going to nut insert the plywood right to this panels. So basically what's going to happen is we're going to cut the plywood, set it in, drill all our holes right through the metal and the wood, pull the wood out, nut insert it, put it back in, tighten it up, and the floor is done. And then we have to pick hardwood out, or the decking out, or whatever we're doing. And we got to make that back drain panel still too. So Jeff is back making some templates so we can be tight against the strut tower, or at least be very close to the strut tower. So we did decide that we are going kind of bring back the mini truck era, because this is technically a mini truck. So we are going underglow. And we are going to go a couple LED interior lights just to kind of add a little bit of jazz to it. Some people might not like it, but it'll be nice for like indoor car shows and stuff like that, just to set it off. Plus the demon eyes that we're going to have in the headlights. So he's out there, last cut. Let's see how well this worked now. Bear with us, we have the minimum tools possible. So we're using a skill saw with a metal blade we use to cut the roof off of this car. So let's get that piece of wood in here and let's see if it fits in. Okay, so as you see, it's starting to go in. Now we just got to notch off the corner on both sides. So we're just going to do it with the recip in here. See if I can do this at the same time. To be quite honest, this probably should have been done before it was painted. Got it? So the good thing about this is just giving us a base, and then the hardwood flooring or the deck boards or whatever the case may be will be going over top of it. There you go. Woohoo! That looks awesome. So, like I said, this is just a base. Now, looking in here, it's hard to tell how much gap's actually there because it's painted black, which is actually a pretty good idea. But I will show you. There is a little bit of gap here, but we're going to be doing hardwood floor. Tight from here, and we're going to cut it tight against all this. We don't have a choice when we're doing the hardwood floor. So, it's going to be hardwood piece floor or decking, you know, 6-7 inches out. Next piece, 6 or 7 inches out. Next piece, all the way across. And quite frankly, there's nothing ever going to be hard enough that's going to go here that's going to break this because it's only about a 3-inch gap. And most deck boards are 6 to 8 inches, so there's no possible way. So the thing we're going to do now is we're going to drill our holes. We're going to take it back out so we can nut insert it. And we're going to bolt this down in the spot. And that's the last time that this piece is ever going to come out of the car. You see it's in. Now Jeff is just going to mark off. We have 8 bolts. We got some big bolts at Home Depot today with some washers, and we're going to drill it, nut insert it, bolt this piece down, and then the next piece I think is going to be nailed down because decking gets nailed, I think, on the lip. Or actually no, technically decking has a gap because it's not supposed to be, so we might actually have to do hardwood flooring.
Yeah, like I said, you get the water resistant stuff.
Or we can get a piece of metal put in between each line of the decking.
One or the other.
But that's a lot of work. Yeah. So we're not going to show you all of this, but I'll show you that Jeff's drilling a couple holes, and then we're going to call it and then come back when it's done. Because who wants to watch drilling? By the way, guys, if you want to see more of this project, subscribe and turn on post notifications. Okay, so we did get the first one in, and it's tight in spot. As you see, Jeff has it semi-tight because we gotta have to come back out, but that's good. Now he's gonna drill the 3 more on this side, the 4 on that side. We're gonna take the wood out, nut insert it, and then we'll be back to show you the outcome. So we are done. You will see there is nut inserts going along the way on both sides. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna set it back in spot. We're gonna tighten it down. We decided to get rid of the washer because we're gonna want the head of the bolt to go through the plywood some because we want the flooring to be as flat as possible. So the washer's gonna stop the bolt from sucking down in. So we're gonna just do the bolt. So this is trial and error. Like, you guys are learning with us because by all means, we don't know what we're doing. So we're doing it to what we think is OEM or what would be like OEM. Obviously this isn't OEM, but it looks OEM. Like, look at the custom panel here going up into the hood or the roof, sorry, and how level that roof is. Like, it's, if that doesn't win an award, I don't know what will. So let's get that plywood in and get bolting it back down. Okay, so we're just gonna clean up the interior a little bit, toss everything in the box of the Civic, which is weird to say, but we're gonna try to see what we have, what needs to go on, and finish up a few things. We did get this piece put on, as you see, looks really factory, flows really well when it comes up to here, comes down. Now, we do need to do our interior still. We gotta do door panels, we gotta do speakers, we gotta do the rubbers through here, when we gotta do our shifter assembly, and stuff like that. Our catch can has to go on still. Our tack has to go in because we don't have a tack. It needs to be cleaned. And then we still got to build back here. So these seats are going to have to end up coming out.
Yeah.
We did, when Jeff's cleaning up for here that we're missing, the wiper arms we're going to paint probably just flat black so it goes in. We did get these put in as well. And we've got our 2 used axles, 2 used inner fenders because we are putting inner fenders back in this. So the plan of this is to make it look as factory as possible. As you see, we're going to finish making, but it does flows really well right there actually. And it comes down and along. Now, I'll show you on this side. You'll notice that we did paint the whole box with frame paint. Now, that was good, yes, because it's going to save our floor. The bad thing is it did drip out the bottom of the door. So you will see right there is a black line. So the side skirt's going to have to come off and be repainted.